I, 29, and my brother, 28, grew up extremely close. We did everything together, but he is obviously the favorite child. Our grandparents would always give him better gifts, and he was the only grandkid to receive an inheritance from them. He spent it all on parties, friends, etc. When he turned 18, he got arrested and sent to prison for 5 years. I would visit him while he was in prison, but he wanted no relationship with me. Even when released, he would not reach out. I gave up on working on a relationship with him. I am now married, have a daughter on the way, and work in the government. My brother lives with my parents, does not have a job, and spends most of his days drinking. A few months ago, he texted me asking if we could meet at a local restaurant. We met and he asked if I could give him $2,000 to help him get back on his feet. The only thing I asked was that if I gave the money, we could build on being brothers again. He agreed and I wrote him a check. He calls me and tells me that he needs more money. My parents kicked him out of the house and he needs a place to live. I asked him what he used the money I gave him on, and he told me that he used it on alcohol and clubs. He asks if I could give him $15,000 and help him find a place. I told him no, that it was a lot of money to ask for. I offered to help him find a place that he can afford if he wants. He hangs up on me and sends me a long text that I have always been the favorite son and he never wants to talk or hear from me. I did try to reach out, but he blocked my number. Am I the idiot for not giving my brother $15,000? Not the idiot. He doesn't want a brother, just a bank account. You have a child. If you've got $15K extra just laying around, it needs to go into a college fund or an emergency fund or life insurance payments because kid. Your brother is bottom of the list of priorities and he put himself at the bottom. Then he got a shovel and dug even deeper. You're married and that takes absolute priority over your brother. If he's been sober for several months, is in a homeless shelter, and is job hunting, then helping with a down payment for a one-room apartment would be very nice. Otherwise you're just giving him money to buy alcohol. Although you might be the idiot for giving him the first $2K because it sounds like you already knew he was an addict, so you should have seen that outcome from a mile away. You should instead have offered to help him find work and get his life together. There's a chance he would have taken you up on that since he was out of money as it was. But he got a big score and fed his addiction and ended up homeless for it to boot. Of course, most likely he would have reacted than the way he just did now. Some people are simply determined to destroy themselves, and there is nothing you can do about it when that happens. Not the idiot. Your brother clearly has so much resentment towards you and only sees you as a cash cow. $15,000 is a lot of money, especially if you're expecting a child. Congratulations, by the way. The more you do for him, the more he'll take advantage of you. I understand wanting back what you had, but you tried your best. The only way your relationship can be fixed is if he tries to. One day he might come to a realization and genuinely want to get better, but if you indulge him now it'll only hurt your family later. Until he wants help and to amend the brotherly bond, there's nothing else you can do, and don't let him make you feel guilty about not helping him either. Some background. My 28 older sister, 33, has a habit of making everything about her, has done our whole lives. We are 2 of 4 siblings, another sister and a brother. For example, my wedding 4 years ago she had a massive fight with significant other and then announced a pregnancy. 2 days later told us it was a false alarm and she was just late. When I announced my pregnancy she announced she had broken up with her significant other. Less than a week after I gave birth to my daughter she announced she was engaged to a different guy that she has since broken up with as well. She has also done similar with other family members, including her own children. She has 3 children from 2 different dads and has been engaged and broken up with 3 different guys in the last year. We had a family video chat to catch up so everyone could see my daughter, 4 months old. No one has had a great deal of face-to-face contact due to restrictions and distance. Some family members have yet to meet her in person. I use lots of nicknames for my daughter, mainly Bubble, Poppet or a shortened version of her name, think Izzy if her name was Isabel, but occasionally use terms of endearment such as, sweetheart, my darling or my love. While on the video chat my sister asked me not to use my love as her new boyfriend calls her that. She's been talking to him for about a month and is now apparently moving in next week. I apologized and said I wouldn't use it around her, thinking this was reasonable. She said no, I had to never use it again, I wasn't allowed to call my daughter that, and she found it really inappropriate as it really should just be used in a romantic setting. This confused me and I refused. I said I could call my daughter whatever I pleased and I would simply avoid using the term in front of her. She got very defensive and went on to insult my parenting skills. Here is where I may be the idiot, I told her, just because her new guy couldn't remember her name long enough to use it, and chances are none of us would put the effort into learning his, doesn't mean I need to change what I call my daughter. She flipped out and left the call. Some family members are on my side, some say I was too harsh. Am I the idiot in this? You gave her exactly what she wanted. She changed the whole tone of the call to focus on her, made some ridiculous claim so that she could blow up and then storm out of the chat. She even managed to get some people on her side to continue fighting the battle for her and make sure she gets all the attention. She will be back with some other self-serving excuse to grab the spotlight, and what you can do is to absolutely ignore her announcement, her histrionics, her weeping and wailing over some perceived slight. Point it out to others, make it a game, to see how long it takes during someone else's moment for her to pitch a fit and grab the center of attention. You could have been more tactful in your response, but it sounds like she was insulting your skills as a parent, so she deserved what she got. You should call your daughter whatever name or nickname holds meaning for you. She is your daughter. Multiple people can be called my love, my mom also calls me that sometimes, and if she really believes only one person should get to be called that, then your daughter has priority over her flavor of the month. It sounds like your sister could benefit from some therapy. Not the idiot for continuing to call your daughter my love. You shouldn't even have apologized for that. Your sister does not own the copyright to the pet name my love. Your sister and my relative by marriage would be besties. I am very familiar with this type of person, so I will say that, while the comment about her new boyfriend was a bit out of line, I totally understand the place of frustration it came from. Hopefully, your sister is not like my relative and won't then rope in all your other family to brigade you and remind you every year what an awful human you are for being human and losing your temper. I am a 50-year-old woman and my son is 25 years old. He was trying to convince the parents of his 24-year-old girlfriend, let's call her Mary Ann, to let her move in with him. Mary Ann has a couple of mental problems that cause her to change her attitudes abruptly. I describe what I have seen in our interactions. I do not know her specific condition, so I could not tell if she is sweet and kind or if she is brutally honest and quite serious. It can be the same day both things, and he does not seem the same person. Besides that, he thinks like a girl and cannot live like a normal adult despite having the knowledge of one. Her parents say that she does not have Down syndrome or nothing similar. My son told Mary Ann's parents that he would take care of her, but they always came to monitor how he was handling her. It so happens that being almost 60% responsible for this woman and for what she does has put my son in a high state of stress. He had never cared for another living thing before. My financial situation was not good when he was a child and we never had pets, so he is almost always tired, irritated, frustrated, and all he wants to do in his spare time is sleep. Mary Ann always cries about wanting to do something with him, but he just says he's tired and goes to bed trying to sleep. One day, he told me that he couldn't take it anymore. That Mary Ann can't do a lot of household chores well, and that he has to go fix what she's done, that he can't handle her abrupt changes, and that he can't bear to be behind her. I told him that it was he who wanted to commit to taking care of her and that he should be responsible because no one forced him to carry Mary Ann, but that he insisted on living with her and that, if he loved her, he could get psychological help for stress and continue with his relationship. My son told me to go away, and when I came back to visit, I saw Mary Ann crying because my son broke up with her. I consoled her for a while until she mentioned that my son told her that she was useless and that he couldn't handle her anymore. When I confronted him about this, he called me an idiot and said he had the right to quit if he thought it was too much of a responsibility for him. Not the idiot. You only encouraged him to work on his relationship and left him with a choice to either continue or not. You don't make that decision. Frankly, you knew your boundaries as a parent because if you had told him to leave, he would be blaming you either way. He told him what he needed to hear. He made a decision that he didn't understand the full consequences, and now he had to figure it out on his own. You're the idiot. A person can leave a relationship at any point in time for any reason. He isn't happy, that should be enough for you as his mother to understand. Yes, he got in over his head. Now he knows better. The only way to learn is by experience. He was a jerk for being mean to her, but he had no other support with dissolving the relationship and was stressed. Again, perhaps he learned a lot about himself in this and will make better choices. You shouldn't be forcing him to stay in a relationship that is bad for him. He shouldn't have to just deal with it because he tried and failed. He should get to be happy in life. You're the idiot. Why would you want him to stay in such a terrible relationship? His girlfriend was a terrible partner to him. He made the mistake of getting her to move in, but he's young and thought he could help her. How about you try dealing with someone that has mental illnesses like that and having to take care of them 24/7 and have them do no help at all while they sit at home and do nothing. She is not his responsibility and not his problem. I'm 26, my mom doesn't live with me, but she often stays with me here and there. She's around 50. I'm not religious, don't have any religious beliefs or so. But I respect all religions and faith. My mom is Christian. There is a church near my apartment and that church has a food pantry in it too, and you're free to donate food to it. As a kid when I used to live with my mom she donate to that church food and all. Now that she visits my place often, she's always taking a bunch of food, snacks etc. out of my pantry in my apartment and she drives to the church and gives it to them. When I look in the pantry the food and stuff is pretty much gone. And it's annoying. First because I don't get to eat food. Second, I don't have that type of money to be able to donate all my food money. I only make around like $55k after tax annually, which is mainly spent towards rent, etc. and I'm able to live fine. But her giving off all my food makes no sense and I don't have that type of money and I'm also diabetic too, so I need certain snacks at home to help maintain blood sugar. My mom is quite well off. She worked as a cardiologist, she's retired now, she retired a few years ago and she made bank. And I told her stop giving food to the church and she thinks I'm an idiot for not supporting the church or religion. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, it's your food to do with as you please. Your mom is breaking so many boundaries by taking your food to take and give away. If you were able to use it to write off taxes, that would be one thing, but clearly that's not what's happening here. Explain to her, assuming you haven't already, that it is a health risk for you to not have those snacks, and if she doesn't get the memo, then maybe she shouldn't be visiting your house anymore. Until she contributes to your bills, should she tell you what to do with your money. Take a picture of her to that church and tell them that when this woman is donating food, it's actually your food and it's stolen. They need to call you when it's missing and you will come get it. Tell them to suggest when she brings it in to bring the food back to you. Also to pass the picture around. Tell your mother that you've alerted all the churches in the area, yours and hers, that any food she donates is stolen from you and if she tries to donate your food again she's going to be extremely ashamed. Your mother is literally stealing from you. It doesn't matter what she is doing with the item she takes, if she takes it from you without asking, it is theft. Considering your diabetes, she is also endangering your health. Also, supporting anything is a personal decision. Anyone who forces anyone else into doing so is an idiot. And by forcing it on you, she is actually making sure that you will not do so of your own free will. To give a small background on my friend, 23, and her boyfriend, 22, they have been together for 3 years, and none of our friends particularly like him. He's a peculiar guy, and none of us really are able to hold a conversation with him. He has also been extremely irresponsible before when he has been in our home when we're not in, leaving the front door unlocked and leaving bottom floor windows open. In our household, it is me, 23, my housemate, 24, and my friend. My friend went on holiday for 2 weeks, she told us she left a key and that he might pop in. When she told us this, we presumed he might come over to eat the rest of her food or pick some stuff up. My housemate works nights, so when I come back from work it's just me and, on my own, I'm really cautious about keeping everything locked. I also went on my own walk naked too, and from the bathroom. My housemate and I both started to notice things moving around the house during the period our friend was away, so we felt really confused as to whether he was still in the house or not. On one of the evenings, I was on my own and it was about 20 to 12 and I was getting ready for bed and suddenly I hear the door open. I freaked out and thought a damn stranger was at my home. It was her boyfriend. I asked him why he was here and why he hadn't told us he was coming over, and he just said he wanted a bath. I told him it was late and he should have messaged me. He sort of chuckled about being in our house the other day and none of us knew, which made me feel furious. When my housemate came in from his night shift, he told me the front door had been unlocked all night, which made him panic and check if everything was okay in our house, only to find the boyfriend wandering around. The last night he came over, I was on my own again and I chose to deadbolt the door. I wanted to be left alone, feel safe in my house. So, again, but this time at midnight, I heard him trying the door. He texted me asking if I was in, but I just ignored him. We then received a text from our friend asking us not to lock him out. I replied saying we didn't mind him coming over, but he should tell us and not do it so late. He left the front door unlocked, etc. She said she would talk to him but to just let him in. I lied that we wouldn't be in, so it was all locked and he wouldn't be able to get in, and to tell him. She then just said she understands it's probably annoying him coming over, but we obviously want our place to be somewhere our boyfriends can turn to when they need it. I went back that night, locked myself in, played Sims and got drunk, safe in the knowledge he couldn't get in. Now I can imagine you're probably wondering why he felt the need to come over. His heating and water were fine. He said it was because he didn't like his neighbors. To clarify, he also has another home, but chooses to legally sublet it for extra income. Not the idiot, but you and your other housemate need to sit your problem housemate, because this is as much an issue with her as it is with her boyfriend, down and have a talk about boundaries and safety in the house that you all share. Her boyfriend has proven time and time again that he can't be trusted with the security of your house by leaving the door unlocked on multiple occasions, and that he has no respect for you as people by letting himself in unannounced whenever he feels like it, and him coming over in the middle of the night to skulk about your house is creepy as hell. He should not have ever been given a key to your house, and it's only a matter of time before you guys get robbed or worse because of him. Not the idiot. He isn't living with you, he isn't on the lease, and probably doesn't pay anything towards rent or utilities. Also, I don't think your landlord likes the fact that someone who isn't living permanently there has a key to the house. Take the key back from this guy and tell your friend he is only allowed in the house when she is there and not all the time by himself. He will not start to message you up front because you want him to. My idea of a house sharing arrangement does not include allowing boyfriends and girlfriends unfettered access. You and your other housemate should get together and establish some rules and boundaries about this. Giving this guy free access to the home, in which there are two other persons, is an abuse of your privacy, and besides, showing up late at night to take a bath because he doesn't like his neighbors is just too creepy for words.